Why is the tradition of our ancestors important to me? Of Ifa specifically? Um, okay, I can dig it. So tradition in general is a very important thing. But it's not just important to be traditional, it's important to know why. Um, because our culture is a living culture. Because our ancestors left us tools to expand, it's important that we learn where we come from so we can apply it to the present and then generations forward. And in these times, it's critical to know who you are, where you come from, what your purpose is, and how you go about fulfilling that purpose. So answering those questions are critical, and once you start answering those questions, culture and tradition become a necessary intersection. Um, and in these times, especially our relationship to how we understand ourselves collectively, how we're conditioned to understand ourselves, the flatness or the lack of dimensionality inside of that, or the one-sidedness of it all. James Baldwin talks about there isn't enough words in the English language to describe the African experience in America, which means you have to start looking for other languages, you have to look for other cultures, you have to look for other ways to make sense of who you are. And once you begin to do that, there's an ease, because if I told you, if you thought that you could only grow to be 5 feet tall, and you know yourself to be 6 foot, you know this, but the whole world is saying you can only be 5 feet tall, you can only be 5 feet tall. And then you find another culture and a language that says, oh, your height is based on your genetics. And genetics isn't, your parents may have been more than that or less than that. You now feel like, this awkwardness, this strangeness, this tight fit that I've been trying to make sense of, it may just very well be a lie, but more than that, it's not for me. What is for me is this larger cosmology, this larger understanding that I can grow to be 7 foot possibly, depending on my ancestry, where I come from. That I could grow my talents, my skills can be used for things way outside the box of what I've been conditioned or trained to believe they can be used for. So culture, tradition, the wisdom of the ancestors and the elders, it's the vehicle for which to carry all this wisdom on. So it's critical right now that we, as Obafemio in the Bay Area talks about, lives the medicine, right? There's some bitter, there's some sweet, but you have to be able to be engaged in the medicine for the purpose of healing and transforming, so that you can set the pace for the coming generations. It's not so much about us. And this isn't one of those like, oh, they'll figure it out later. Literally, we may not have had so many examples of what being African in America looks like. Whether it be Ifa, whether it be Udon, whether it be Santeria, whether it be Karumble, whatever it is, small communities, and not so long ago it was illegal, right? So inside of the opportunity to express, to have festivals like this, to honor Egungun, to do things publicly, we have to know that it's a privilege to have this much exposure and this much access and this much freedom and liberty to do that which we were called to do. But we're not doing it strictly for us. We're doing it for the kids riding by in the back of somebody's car. We're doing it for the kids walking by, the kids on the bikes, come looking out the windows, so they can come and ask a question. Hey, what is that? Right? Because something in their spirit's gonna be called to just ask, what is that? And for us to be able to not just say what it is, but why it is, where it comes from, what it has to do with them, has them from a very young age realize, oh, my world is much bigger than the limited spaces that I've been conditioned to believe it is. And then when they grow and continue to work their path, this may not be for them, but they understand it exists, right? We're not limited to what you're conditioned to, some make-believe Hollywood or the worst of, or the post-traumatic slave conditions that we find ourselves so mired in. So it's critical in these times for the purpose of healing, for the purpose of honoring those who prayed for us generations ago, that we may have this freedom, for those who we pray for generations in the future. It's critical that we not only practice what we practice, but are educated about why it is, and understand that it's not dogmatic, it's not static. It's an expansive, living tradition. So it must apply to how it applies for you. Now, what this looks like in Brooklyn and on the edge of Brownsville and Bed-Stuy may, by necessity, look different than what it looks like in Harlem, right? The same way that if you're in Ile-Ife, things may look different than they do in Lagos. Or if you're in Abeokuta, it looks different than it does in Oderemo or Ogun State, whatever the case may be. So we have to be willing for things to apply in different areas and regions as necessary for those people. But because the tools are tried and true, we have to know that that's the purpose, that's how it's supposed to be. It can't be dogmatic, being like, if you don't do it the way I do it, then we might as well go back to church. Nothing inherently around church, but I'm not a religious person. And that's got more to do with the etymology. So that's the answer, long answer to that very short question.
Say hi. mo ti ń sá o ṣégélé mo wà mo ti ń sá o ṣégélé mo ti ń sá o. Mo ti ń sá o ṣégélé mo wà mo ti ń sá o ṣégélé mo ti ń sá o ṣégélé mo wà mo ti ń sá o. Mo ti ń sá o ṣégélé mo wà mo ti ń sá o ṣégélé mo ti ń sá o ṣégélé mo wà mo ti ń sá o ṣégélé mo ti ń sá o ṣégélé mo wà mo ti ń sá o ṣégélé mo ti ń sá o. Mo ti ń sá o ṣégélé mo wà mo ti ń sá o ṣégélé mo ti ń sá o ṣégélé mo wà mo ti ń sá o ṣégélé mo ti ń sá o. 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 Túlókù lè olè yé túlókù yéyé túlókù lè yéyé túlókù yéyé túlókù yéyé túlókù lè túlókù lè. Morese tu son son morese tu son son morese tu morese tu son son morese tu morese tu morese tu morese tu morese tu Abobo mariwo to ya, eseruba, bing, eru, pepeye, egbekahan, alaso. Yes, greetings everyone. Today is a big day because we are here to honor our ancestors, our Egungun. Very, very important part of our spiritual practice. I'm so happy to see all of us here gathered today. It's a blessing. Any and every time that we come to honor our ancestors, it's a blessing. Because if we are on this side to honor them, then we're where we're supposed to be. And we first pay homage to Olodumare, the Almighty Creator. Olodumare has brought us here to fulfill our destiny. Olodumare is opening the way for us to be able to experience our destiny every day. So we are so grateful to be able to be here, and we pay homage to Olodumare. We pay homage to Orumila, our Baba, that keeps us in alignment with our destiny, that sees to it that we have the tools and the resources necessary in order for us to fulfill our destiny. We pay homage to Eshu. Eshu opens the way for everything we do. And so we honor and greet our Eshu, the second in command to Orumila, the right-hand man of Orumila. We pay homage to all the Orisa. We pay homage to our mothers. We pay homage to our fathers. We pay homage to our teachers, those that's handed down this divine knowledge, information, and experience. Because it's one thing to learn something, it's another thing to do something. And so our ancestors provided us our teachers provided us the frameworks and then the environments to apply these frameworks. That's why we can do it today. We pay homage to our ancestors. The ancestors on the father's side, ancestors on the mother's side. We honor you. We have taken today out to celebrate you, to honor you, to learn more about you, and to be able to connect to our bloodline that's in the heavens, that's smiling down on us. We pay homage to all the divine forces that are with us, that we did not name, that we don't know their name, that are here because we have made the call to the universe, and they have something to give and provide and help and support and to receive from us, and we are here to receive the blessings from them. Ibashel. Today we're honoring our ancestors, and it's a very important reason, because if we don't do it, who's going to do it? Who? Are the people that's going to Easter going to honor their ancestors? So if we don't do it, who's going to do it? So if you're here, it's because Your ancestors have selected you to be here. And I honor you for being the one that's heard the call and that's stepped up to the plate. Because if we don't keep the memory of our ancestors alive, then they will fade away. And I use the example of Egypt as a perfect example that when you go to Kemet now, the people that lived in that land for 20, 30, 40, 50,000 years, the people that are there have no knowledge, memory, or understanding of how they built the pyramids, how they did everything. So just like that, no matter how great something could be, if the descendants don't honor their ancestors, it could fade away. So we're here because we've made the pledge that we will not allow our ancestors' memory to fade away. And each one teach one. We share with each other, we share with our children, and we make sure that they share with their children so that when the time comes for us to transition, that our rights can be done so that we can reach the highest level possible. Sure. Our ancestors, they went through so much, and their prayer was that their children would not have to go through what they were going through. So they survived, they thrived, they made children in the midst of the hardships. They raised them, they passed down the morals, the culture of the motherland, the memory of what they can remember, all knowing that their children would be able to take things to another level, that the children wouldn't go through the same type of terrible, terrible atrocities. So we are the children of those children of those children of those children. And many are called, few answer the call. And then of the many that are called, it's still just a small number. So we are like the bottom of the Kool-Aid. The concentrated, rich, flavorful aspect that is so sweet because all of the top is gone. And whoever gets the last swallow from the jug of Kool-Aid in the refrigerator is blessed. Because people say, look and say, oh, there's no more Kool-Aid. But only the Kool-Aid drinkers know, that last drink is the best one. And you are the last drink. You are the best one. You're the one that remained. After all of the hardships, after all of the people decided to join other spiritual ways or not do anything and just go to work, come home. But you're the one that say, no, I'm going to take out my time and I'm going to make sure that I connect and learn and develop and grow in the ways of my ancestors, in the spiritual practice of the ancestors, the spiritual sciences of my ancestors. And because I am doing it, they will live long. And because I'm doing it, my children will observe me doing it and they will continue to do it. So we pay homage to our ancestors today. So let's jump right into what we want to do today. First, let's talk about what is an ancestor. What is an ancestor? We are here to talk about the Yoruba practice, the Isheshe component of the Yoruba practice, the Isinbile, the way it's practiced back home in Nigeria, okay? And the other places Yoruba people existed. Because there are many versions of Yoruba practice and they all are valid. But today we're going to just be talking about the Yoruba approach that's from Nigeria and the countries near Nigeria. When it comes to our spiritual practice of our ancestors, there are many codes and conducts that make it to be a spiritual science. Meaning it's not just something that you just do from your heart and say, oh, I'm connected to my ancestors. I can just do this from my heart and they're going to receive it. If we don't have any access to the information, yes, that's what you should do because it's better to do something than do nothing. But as we seek to learn more and we do more. So what is an ancestor? An ancestor is someone that is your family, that was your blood family, that has transitioned to the heavens. However, there just someone transitioning is not enough to be considered an ancestor. And what it takes to become an ancestor helps to govern what we do on earth so that we become ancestors. And first and foremost, in order to become an ancestor, you must be someone that contributes positively to your family and your community and society. Meaning someone that does not positively contribute to their family, community, and society when it's time for them to transition and go into the ancestral realm, they will not be accepted because there are very high standards to becoming an ancestor. Because these are the elders. Alagba. The elders. The elder of the elders. So they're not just letting everyone into the ancestral realm. So you have to fulfill the requirements, the criteria. You have to be someone that's positively contributing to society. People that are not positively contributing will not become an ancestor. They will not be venerated. They will not be honored. And they will come here again and they will have another chance. Excuse me. And that cycle can continue for however long until someone is able to be aligned with their destiny and get it right. Now, even ancestors can come back down and do come back down. But they don't come back down to get it right. They come back down to utilize all that they've amassed to then make an even greater contribution to their family, community, and society. And that's how we have such great people like yourselves. You all are ancestors that were great, went to the heavens and said, it's time to go back down and share some of this greatness with my people, take them to another level. So it's very important to understand that. In order to contribute to society, in order to contribute to your family, there are some things that are really basic that must be done. Of course, Iwapele, having good character is very important. But in addition to that, there must be an investment into children. Very important. When one is living, one must continue investing in the children. That means having your own children, trying to contribute to other children. That could be your nieces and nephews. That could be children that live on your block. That could be children that live in your city. That could be children that live in your country. But we must systematically engage in contributing to our children and the children of the community. That's very important because it's the opportunity to pay forward all that we gained. It's an opportunity to be able to share all that we amassed. And Ejiogbe teaches us that we're really here on earth to really just pass it down because we're not able to take the things with us into the heavens. So we're here to, yes, amass all of these things, meaning acquire all of these things that we like, that we that's important. And then we have to systematically hand that down to the next generation so that they start with more than what we started with. And so in order to be accepted by the ancestors, it's very important that we are able to invest and contribute into children. The greatest way to invest in children is to raise them. So that's that's where it takes a village to raise a child concept comes from. Because we raise other people's children, but it means that you take time and you take them under your wing, and whatever it is that you have to share, knowledge, understanding, money, resources, game, whatever it is, you share with them. You share with them in a way of raising, meaning in a context of development. So there's some follow up to those conversations. There's some, testing, evaluating. Are they understanding what I'm saying? Helping them to grow. And when you have a society that has this mentality, people really grow and go to a whole nother level. And so that's why you'll see when many people that are from the continent of Africa, when they travel all over the world, they are so often professionals that are doing great things because these people have been invested in for many generations. And so this cycle of cultivation and development is a real profound approach. So in order to become an ancestor, you have to contribute. Everyone's not an ancestor. And we all don't, that's not something that everybody knows. So that's why I always like to start with this when we talk about ancestors. One, to help us to understand how to govern our own behavior, and also to understand when we are honoring our ancestors, who are we speaking to? What names are we continuing? Many people have had traumatic experiences with people in their family, and then the person in that family transitions, and then people can feel like, when I'm honoring my ancestors, I'm honoring this person that I had traumatic experiences with. But no, you're only honoring the people that did positive things in your family. Only the people that you had positive experiences with, especially. Okay? So that's very, very important. And part of our process into coming into this tradition, meaning the African spirituality, Yoruba in particular, is getting to know your ancestors. Because some of us grew up knowing our ancestors, some of us didn't. So if you don't, or if there's room to grow, one of the first things you want to do is make yourself responsible for a family tree, which is like let's say a document or a piece of paper, and there's a tree and there's ideas, there are all these branches. And so the tree is the main family, the father side and the mother side. The branches are all of these, the aunts, uncles, cousins, and so forth. And that you take the time to create a family tree where you can see, okay, this is this relative that passed away, this uncle, this is this aunt that passed away. They had these children. So the people that practice African spirituality, because there may not be many in a family, we should be the ones that know and can recount the family lineage, the who passed away, what they did, because what they did is going to be connected to their purpose. So, and then understanding your family's purpose helps to inform you about your purpose, because we are reincarnations of our family members. So when you know more about your family, you know more about yourself. Okay? So it's very important that first, an ancestor is someone that's positively contributing to society. When you enter this tradition, one of the things that you should do, and if you've already been practicing this tradition, you should continually be developing your knowledge of the people that's passing your family, knowing their names, where they lived, and the things that they did as a career or as a lifestyle or hobbies, things that they were into. And all of this informs you on who you are. So that's very important. Now, there are so many approaches to African spirituality. There's so many, even when it comes to ancestors, it even can be a very debatable conversation, because one thought could be, these are my ancestors. I don't need anyone to teach me or show me how to honor my ancestors. They're mine. So, and that's, a valid point. And we also offer that we utilize systems to be able to experience spiritual sciences that give us the same result every time. And that's what's powerful about a science, that a science gives you measurable results. So when you do things in a scientific way, you are able to get measurable results, meaning if you work with your ancestors in a scientific way, then you aren't just going off intuition, but you are using your intuition into a framework and context of a science that's been handed down from one ancestor and one teacher to the next. So it's very important for us to understand that it's good to, whatever approach someone uses, but it should be an approach that's tried and true. That's tried and true. So, for example, I had a student, and one of my students said, Baba, I know you say that it's important that we don't practice, many different traditions because, when we kind of dabble in a lot of things, we don't really get a lot. But I already was doing tarot card readings. And so in doing Ifa, I want to know, is it okay if I do tarot card readings? So I said, yes. As long as you took 15 years to learn how to do it before you started doing it for other people. Because if someone's taking that amount of time, which is about the time it takes to learn how to do most divination systems, then that means this person has a comprehensive knowledge of that system. But when someone reads a book and they start doing tarot card readings for other people and they haven't had the deep time and investment, then they're not engaging in the science of that art form. They are simply, engaging from, let's call it a beginner's approach. So I use that example not to knock anyone, but to help to create a standard that, okay, if I'm going to be doing things for other people, then I should have been learning, and I explained this to her, learning and studying with a master for 15 years. That then that master says, you are ready to go out and do this for other people. But when we skip that step, and I like to call it come out of the oven too early, and the outside looks good, but the inside, it just drops all the way down. It's mushy and soft on the inside. So these sciences allow us to be fortified on the outside and the inside. So when we want working with our ancestors, of course, we want to do it in a way where we're fortified, where we can get measurable results, where we're able to utilize a method that has happened for thousands of years. So when it comes to all these various systems, they are all good as long as it's a system that has been around for a long time and that has been handed down and that you are learning the system from a teacher. And it's so funny because this is the time of AI. So everyone's talking about AI and how AI is going to take all these jobs and all these careers, and already so many jobs aren't available because of AI. And I'm just like, this is one thing AI will never be able to do. Will never be able to do, because this is something that is embedded in the secret science. It's a secret science. So if you try to Google something about Ifa today, like people, they'll get a reading with me and then they say, oh, okay, I'll speak with them for 30 minutes. And then they'll, okay. And then after the reading, then they'll go and Google the information, the Odu, Irete Meji. And they come back and they say, oh, yes, this said that I should take a kite and fly a kite in the middle of the city. And I said, well, I don't know. Maybe that's what they do. But the information is kept secret by the people that have been appointed to keep the secrets. That's why our tradition, the priests of our tradition are called awo, meaning the secret keepers. Man and woman is called awo, the keeper of the secrets. Okay? So it's so important that we learn from someone. And again, I wasn't born into this tradition. So I didn't just start with the teacher. I was finding my way until I got to my teacher. So it's not to say when you're starting that you don't try things. Definitely try things. But let your goal be, I'm doing this until I can find someone that I work with. Not I'm going to just get as many books as possible and I'm straight after that. I'm a chat GBT every 256 odus and then I'm going to print that out and that's going to be my culture. No. This tradition is not, AI is not going to take this job at all. And then I've gone on there saying, wow, let me try to put this information into AI. Oh man, whoo. It's really interesting. The information is so far off. It's really interesting. Like, wow, this is very off. It's not just a little off. And every time I see it, it's reassuring that our tradition has not been exploited. And I pray it's never exploited. Meaning you cannot reach it without going through a master teacher. So all of that is to say that whatever system that you reach your ancestors from, make sure it's something that's been handed down from generation after generation for over 100 years, because even our own traditions that are in the new world, they're still very new. And so, yes, they are great in the context of not having anything, but now it being 2026, use that in addition to the ancient knowledge and put it together so that you have something that's fortified and that's powerful. That's my advice. Something that's fortified and powerful. So yeah, we have the traditions that our grandma and grandpa used to do, but don't stop there. Keep going deeper and deeper and deeper. Not just because what they had wasn't good enough, but because all masters and people on the path of mastery keep going deeper. So all of my teachers, they come from traditions that are ancient, but they still are going deeper. In their 80s and 90s and 100s, they're still learning and researching and meeting with other knowledgeable people. So the whole concept is always traveling that path of going deeper. I remember that I was studying with my teacher, and I still do it, but to say I used to go for months at a time. I would live with him. And so I'm there one time, this is years ago, and maybe over 10 years ago, and some people from Mexico came to live with him. And my teacher, he's the master, so I don't ask him anything about his business. It's his business. So I was so surprised. So my teacher, he's really very, very successful. So he has an apartment complex on his land. So these people came to stay in the same apartment as me. So it's a fourplex. And each apartment has 3 bedrooms and 2 baths. So fourplex meaning the bottom has 2 apartments, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths. Upstairs, 2 apartments, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths. So it's a fourplex on his land. So these people of all the places, my teacher put them in the same apartment as me. So I'm like, oh man. I'm a very private person. So here now these strangers are staying in my apartment with me. So I'm like, but I've been around, so I know it must be for a reason. So these people, and not because not for any other reason besides I like to just be private. These people from Mexico. And one spoke English, and the other one didn't. He only spoke Spanish. And so I'm very just kicking back and observing them like, this is really interesting. Okay, and this is my first experience of being with people, let's say from that aren't of direct African descent, and so intimately in Africa, studying African spirituality. I've definitely been around people in the United States, and there's nothing wrong with people that's not from African descent. I'm just saying this was my first experience. And so to their credit, they are into it. They're into everything, deeply into everything. Meaning that they're doing all the spiritual works, like they're learning with my teacher. They're writing all the notes down. They're suggested that they do this ritual. Boom, they're doing the ritual. Then they put some extra sauce on the ritual, and then to double the ritual and do 2. I'm just like, wow. So that's 1 week. Next week, They go to the market, they get all this stuff from the market, and I'm like, wow, these cats are on it. I'm being inspired now. By the second week, third week, and then they are so on it. They brought their own food, so they asked could they cook tortillas while they're there. So these are people from Mexico in Africa making tortillas while we eating inya and amala. They having theirs with tortillas. I'm like, these cats they for real. So by the third week, I'm like, I'm gonna start talking to them. I ain't talked to them all this time. Cause I'm just like, I'm greeting them like, hi, how you doing? But what else, but by the third week, I'm like, these cats, I got respect. So I finally start, talking with them, and they were super cool. They wasn't trying to talk to me also, to their credit. They wasn't all like, so we all just in the same apartment, just being respectful. So by the third week, and yeah, they've been there for 3 weeks now. So at the dinner table, I finally just talked to the guys, and I said, how long you been doing this, man? Like, I see you really into this. And he said, he's second generation.
Wow.
Second generation. His parents practice Orisa. He's from Mexico. His parents practice Orisa. So I said, wow. Because I'm first generation. So I'm like, no wonder. He's already born into the game. So we start talking more and more and more. And what the point of what I want to get to is I asked him, man, and we had enough rapport just from seeing each other and mutual respect that I felt like I could ask some really, deep. You all the way in Nigeria. I know Mexico has their own, and not okay. So then I said, well, you're so far away. What makes you come all the way? Because I go to Oshogbo. That's where I was initiated, and that's where I trained. So Oshogbo is like, once you get to Nigeria, to Lagos airport, you still got to drive another 5-6 hours. So I said, what makes you come all the way here? Not just to my teacher, but there's so many places that you could go learn African spirituality, even in the Caribbean, any other things. So he says that we know that this is the source. So we didn't want to learn from any branches. We want to learn from the source. So I said, wow. And I said, man, if it's okay, I want to ask you one question. And please, I mean this in the most respectful way. But y'all are from Mexico. Why do you want to practice Yoruba spirituality? And I said, with all respect, he said, because it works. And that just blew my mind. Blew my mind. And that experience I hold with me every day to this day. That why should we invest all this time and energy into learning all of these things? Because it works. Why does it work? Because it's a spiritual science that gives measurable results. It doesn't require your faith. It doesn't require your belief. It just requires you to show up and to do the steps within the framework, and you are going to get the results. So when we say, why should I learn this Yoruba approach to honoring and working with my ancestors? When these are my ancestors, I should be able to just talk to them and connect to them and do whatever I need to do with them. And that is true. I'm not saying that's not true. But there's an and that goes after that statement. Meaning, I can work with my ancestors. These are my ancestors. They're my blood. They can talk to me. I can talk to them. And I utilize a science and a system that's tried and true that is from thousands of years old. Okay. So that's why we're learning this when it comes to our ancestors, because the ancestor practice is different than Orisa practice, different than Ifa practice. Imagine that these are different societies that are all among the same ethnic group. But just because someone knows about the ancestor practice doesn't mean that they know about Shango. Just because someone knows about Shango, it doesn't mean they know about Ifa. They're separate practices that are in the same ethnic group of people. So us on the outside of that ethnic group of people can look at it as it's all one thing, but it is not all one thing. These are separate traditions, very, very separate traditions. So again, commend you for coming to learn, and I want to support you in saying that you've made the right decision, excuse me, because you have noticed with either your subconscious or conscious mind or both that I want to learn a system that is going to allow me to engage with the honoring of my ancestors. Okay, so I commend you for that. So we've talked about what is an ancestor. We said that not all people become ancestors. We said that the ancestors have to receive us in the afterworld. They have to receive us. We have to fulfill the criteria that they are going to judge us on or evaluate us on in order to enter that realm. That criteria is really basic. You have to leave a legacy, and you have to invest in the next generation. Directly, not indirectly investment. Direct investment in the next generation. We are learning this Yoruba approach because it's a system that's tried and true, that's been handed down for thousands of years. So we are just continuing something that's been happening. We're not starting something. We're not saying, in my family, our legacy, this is what we do. We're saying we are engaging in something that's been happening for thousands of years. So what is our ancestral practice? What makes up the components of our ancestral practice when it comes to the Yoruba way, when it comes to the Isheshe Isimbile way? So, first and foremost, our ancestors are part of our everyday life. Everyday life. And one of the basic ways, fundamental ways that we honor our ancestors is that we always share our meals with our ancestors. We invite them to come eat with us because when we eat, that's something that we do every day if we're blessed. So that's an opportunity for us to infuse them with our day-to-day lifestyle. Everything we eat, the ancestors eat. Whereas everything we eat, the Orisa may not eat because they have certain foods that they like. So whenever we eat, we should take a small portion of food, let's say 1 spoonful of whatever we're eating, and we should put it on the side of our plate and let that be considered the plate for the ancestors. Okay? Every meal. Now, there's no bad thing that's going to happen to you if you forget. If you get halfway through your meal and you say, oh my gosh, I forgot. I didn't put the... Just don't give them anything. Because if you didn't do it in the beginning, you didn't have them in mind. But if you remember in the beginning, you take that opportunity. You don't have to say a prayer. You don't have to say, you just have to do it with the understanding, the intention that this food is for my ancestors. Come and eat with me. Imagine the day that we all become ancestors, far, 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 far away in the future. And imagine someone that you love, that you used to eat with when you were on earth, is still inviting you to come and eat with them. How great that will make you feel. So every time you do it with that sentiment and understanding that I would love somebody to do this for me. So let me do this for them. Very important. Very, 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 very important. If we don't do anything for our ancestors and we just do that, we are doing something great. Because something done with continuity and consistency gets great results. Now, the ancestors have a worship day. And we have worship days within our Yoruba tradition. And the first day of the week is considered Ose Osa, which means the worship day for Obatala. And on this Obatala worship day is the day we honor our ancestors too. It's the Egungun worship day also, Ose Egungun. So we start off our week honoring them. We start off our week giving offerings to them. Now, if we give offerings to them every day, what's the difference? The difference is that this day, we take a little bit more time. Now, we have a shrine within our tradition that is a portal that we use to communicate with the ancestral realm. And various areas of Yoruba land have different types of shrines, but they will all serve the same purpose, which is to have a designated place that we're able to communicate to our ancestors. So in the area of Yoruba land that I was trained in, we call it Opaiku. Opaiku, okay? And this is a shrine that is available for everyone. If anyone ever wants to get this shrine, you contact me and I can make it for you. Or I won't personally make it. My brothers back home in Nigeria that are from the Egungun society, the elders, they will make it and they will send it to me, and then we'll do the ritual for you to receive it. So if you're ever interested in doing that, it's a fundamental thing that everybody should have, because everyone should have this portal to honor their ancestors with. So it's fundamental. And, you know, sidebar, like Lukumi has a fundamental shrines. Everyone gets their warriors, right? So everyone gets the Eshu, Ogun, and the Osun. But we don't have that in Isheshe culture. However, conceptually, I've organized what are our fundamental shrines that everyone should have. And Opaiku, everyone should have Opaiku. Everyone should have their Ori object, Ile Ori, and the Hand of Ifa. Yeah, everybody. That's your foundation. Become an ancestor, start a kid. Everybody should have it. Anyway. So on the worship day, we go to our Opaiku and we give Obi, kola nut, and Oti to our ancestors. Okay? And we chant Odus for them. We sing songs for them. We honor them. We uplift them. We take, it doesn't have to be all day, or it could be all day, but 15 minutes, 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever you have time for, which is different than just giving them a piece of your food and you just continue on with your day. When you give this, make this Oshe for the ancestors, you don't have to cook for them, because kola nut is one of their favorite offerings. However, you can cook for them, and it's great to cook for them because food is a way that humans connect with each other. So continuing that tradition is really, really good. So cooking for them. Now, here's a way that we are able to now infuse our own ancestral traditions from wherever we're from. The point is that we're cooking the food for the ancestors. So you can cook foods that your ancestors liked. And you should know how to cook the foods for the Yoruba ancestors also. Because if you're practicing this tradition, you have some Yoruba ancestors. Now, Yoruba is a label that non-Yoruba people gave to the people that exist in Yoruba land, meaning the word Yoruba is not even Yoruba. So it's important to understand that we're talking about a region in the world. And the people in this region actually have more names or labels than Yoruba. So when I say that we all have Yoruba ancestry, I don't mean that if you do the ancestry.com, it's going to say Yoruba. But it will say, if you're practicing this tradition, it will say that you have ancestors from that region of the world. Now, spirits live all over. So you may have actual physical ancestors, or you may have ancestors that spiritually would travel to that part of the world. Okay? That's why you are here doing it today, because you are from a legacy, you're from a lineage. It didn't start with you, and you're continuing something forward. So learning how to make foods that they use for their ancestors is very important. And one of the fundamental foods that they make is called akara. Akara, which is bean or black eyed peas. Black eyed peas, what we call it in the United States. But they call it beans. You cook that. You fry it. It could be in different types of oil, but you make it into a paste and you fry it. Okay, it's called akara. And you can find it online now. Everything's on YouTube. It's really interesting. When I first started this tradition, just to learn how to cook the foods was like a secret. Like, oh my gosh, I learned how to make this today. But now, if you look on YouTube, you look up akara, and however they make it, it's good. That's how you can make it to give to your ancestors. And another food that's fundamental for them, we call it olele, or it's also called moi moi or meme. But moi moi, M-O-I-N, moi moi is a real common term, but a deep Yoruba term is olele. So that's another fundamental food that we can give to our ancestors. Now, when you want to cook food for your ancestors that are not those dishes, I want you to know that you do not have to make a whole elaborate meal, because akara is just one piece of a meal. Olele is just one piece of a meal. My stomach started rumbling just talking about it. Oh my gosh. Take me back home. Take me back home. So it's just one piece of a meal. So if you want to make some food that's from your lineage, you don't have to make all the courses. You can just choose one piece of a dish, one aspect of a dish that can be simple, so that it's not a barrier for you making food for your ancestors. Say, oh, well, I don't have time because I got to cook all this stuff. So let me give an example that, my ancestors are from the United States also. So when I want to cook for my ancestors, I'll just make something just like fish and grits. Something so simple that I know that they like. I just cook up some grits, I just take some fish, and just cook some fish real quick. So it could be something fast. It doesn't have to be the greens and the yams, potatoes. Oh, who had it? No, I'm saying. But it could just be something that's just simple for your ancestors. So simple, but that they would love it. So food is a great way to connect with your ancestors. And I encourage people to do that on their worship day. On their worship day, whenever you can. But if you can't, it's okay, because to give kola nut and to give oti, which is liquor, is good. Now, if there's a specific liquor that your family likes, you can use that, but it must be liquor. It cannot be wine, and it cannot be beer. Okay, it has to be liquor. That's very important. And not liquor, but liquor. Very important. Okay, so that's how we honor our ancestors. You'll look on the calendar, on my website I have the calendar, or maybe we can post the calendar in the chat. We have a school community, online community, and on our school community there's the calendar there. So we'll also put the link to the school community in the chat. We discuss and post things about the Orisa and ancestors every day. So it's a place that you can every day check in and learn just one thing a day. And you'd be amazed by learning just one thing a day, and you write it down in your notes, and you'll learn 7 things in 1 week. And I usually teach even more than one thing. So if you wrote down everything that I posted and all that I say in those posts in 7 days, it's usually, I'm going to say 2 or 3 things every day, you'd have 21 bits of knowledge at the end of a week. So just learning from the online group is just really profound. And I encourage everyone to don't just read and say, "Oh, that's nice." No, study those things. Write it down. Commit it to memory, because that's how you learn. That's how I learned, committing things to memory. One of my friends, he practices. He's a great Babalawo, but he's grew up in the United States like me, and so we practice. He filed, but he didn't train where I trained, and so he said, "Man, if how you do is so great, man. What are the books that you learn from, man? I got to get them some of those books." And I said, I didn't learn one thing from a book. And not to knock anyone that learns from books, but it's just to say that what I'm sharing is from my teachers that they gave to me. And I wish it was on an online forum and I could just go in, but I had to go all the way to Africa, sit at their feet, eat the akara and the moi moi, make it with them, in order to be able to share this with you. So it's a great opportunity to just be able to go on your phone and learn something every day. So on our online community in the school, we have a calendar on there. So you can check out the worship days there. Obatala's day is Egungun day. So we're talking about how to honor them. Give offerings to them. I have a haiku and I brought it today. We're going to give offerings today, and I can give offerings for you. That highway of spirit, and how many times have you thought about somebody and they text you, it's spirit, or they call you, it's spirit. Okay, so spirit's not bound by any physical space. So on our worship day, we honor them. We call their names. We listen to the music that they loved. If I have grandfather, he loves this song, I play his song on his day. I have a grandmother, she loves this music, I play this music on her day. And it gives us a way to be organized. Again, a system. It gives us a system for us to organize to say, yeah, I want to do this every day, but I know I'm going to do it on the worship day. Okay? So that's very important. So if you don't have access to a paiku, contact someone that does. If you want to do something for your ancestors, and let's say you don't have the resources to even give offerings, then what we talked about earlier, it may take a little bit more effort, but you should cook for them. And where to take the offering, put the offering in some sacred place in your home, or you can go to a sacred environment. Yeah. So it's an effort. And the thing about when we don't give an offering with a shrine, then we're not quite sure if our offering is being received by the spirit that we're trying to reach. So the thing about a shrine is that a shrine is a designated place that the spirits know, I'm going to go there. The humans know, I'm going to go there. We all know, we're going to meet there. But when we do it in our home with no shrine, or we go into nature, they may be there, they may not. So it's not as certain. So that's why we use a shrine, just to explain, because people often say, oh, I just give my offerings, at the railroad tracks. And it's like, that's cool. And let's be very clear that we're not sure if the spirit is going to be there. So, but something is better than nothing. So I'm not at all saying people shouldn't do nothing until you can reach somebody, or you have the resources to make that investment. To say, I'm saying the and concept. Do both. And so I do my offering, I take my cooked food, I take it to the biggest tree I can find, and I put it down there, and I contact someone to give an offering for me, okay? Or I'm saving my resources until I can ask someone to give the offering for me, and in the meantime. So it's always an and concept and not an either or, because we're always trying to maximize our spiritual experience so that we have the greatest experience possible, okay? So we're talking about how do we work with our ancestors? So we honor them on their worship day. Again, we're talking about the Yoruba approach because it's, as my man from Mexico said, it works. So people from all over the world want to learn the Yoruba way because it's a system that works. And when I asked the brother from Mexico, how come he doesn't learn the Mexican system? And he says, it's not an easy system to learn because it's not formatted in a way where it can be taught to anybody. But the Yoruba is a very huge society. The Yoruba people are all over Africa and then all over the diaspora. And so they have maintained a spiritual science that is teachable, where here we are born in the Western world, we can learn it and then tap into this ancient knowledge. Okay, so that's why we're following this format. This is a format. This is a science. You do it like this, you're going to get a result. You do it like this, you're going to get a result. You come together on the worship day. When you do it on the worship day, everybody around the world that subscribes to this approach is also going to their ancestors on the worship day. So now you're tapping into a synergy. You're tapping into a synergy of other people doing the same thing that gives even more spiritual power to what you're doing. Okay? And also, when we work with our ancestors, we sing songs. All the Orisa, we sing songs. The songs help to lift the vibe, lift the spirit, lift the energy. So now let's go into learning some songs for our Orisa. Okay? And I'm sorry, for Egungun, learn some songs. Excuse me. So each Orisa has a hail, a way we praise them. Okay, the way we give up the energy and say, yeah, all right? And each Orisa has their own vibe. So Batala is calm, it's peaceful, you know? Oshun, she's calm and peaceful. But when it comes to Egungun, it's rough and rowdy and rugged because it's like, it's an energy that it just has a electric energy to it. This is our Egungun shrine. The cloth is red. It's not white and just calm and my ancestors. It's red, my ancestors. So that's the kind of vibe, that's the kind of spirit, that's the kind of energy you're going to bring to it. When the Egungun comes out, the masquerade comes out, people are like, oh, wow, it's the masquerade. Yeah. All right. And it attracts people that have that kind of vibe too. So whenever we're honoring our ancestors, we're bringing a real excited vibe because it's like we're praising. We're like, we are just so excited to honor them because, man, these are people many times it's people that we know. That we're not praying to the force of energy that we are developing a relationship. We know these people. They've transitioned. We spent time with them. They've invested in us. They raised us. They developed us. And now we're able to honor and praise them. Okay? So we're going to learn some songs that everyone, you all can learn. If you just learn some of the song, sing it to your ancestors. You just, too low, just do that, all right? And you keep developing it, keep learning more and more where you can sing the whole song. Whenever you're learning a song, learn the chorus first and just sing the chorus and leave the lead out until you learn the lead. But then after you learn the chorus, then you learn the lead, okay? It's very important, very important. This time of the year is approaching our ancestor time. So in Yoruba culture, June, the beginning of June is the Yoruba New Year. And at the time of the Yoruba New Year is when we start our year off by honoring our ancestors. So I've chose to do this workshop in April, and I'm going to do another one in May. And we're gearing up for the time when we are going to be honoring our ancestors, okay? And even I'll be doing an ancestral celebration the first Sunday of June, the first Sunday of June. So I do it every year. So that's why we're doing it now in particular, okay? Because we're getting ready for the ancestor time of the year. Every house, every compound, as we say in Africa, in the Yoruba land is going to be honoring their ancestors basically from June to, let's say, October. From June to October, people are going to be honoring their ancestors, honoring their ancestors. That's how we start the year off. Some people even in May will be honoring their ancestors toward the end of May, okay? So like close out the year and bring in the new year, okay? But You won't see like Egungun festivals like January and December and February. It's not really like that. People can do it, but it's not really like that. You'll be seeing it happening the beginning of our Yoruba year, all right? So when we honor our ancestors, when we hail them, we're gonna say some phrases. These phrases is how we big them up, okay? They're call and responses, all right? So I'll say what the call is, and then I'll gesture to you, and then I'll say the lead after I feel like you guys got it, okay? So the first one, I'll demonstrate the whole thing. So the first one, we say Abobo Mariwo Tuya, and the response, that's the lead, and the response says Abobo Mariwo Tuya, hey, all right? So you can see the vibe. It's not like, hey. No, it's not like that. Hey, Abobo Mariwo Tuya, hey. Okay, so let's try that. I think you got hey, so I'm not gonna demonstrate that anymore. I'm gonna say the lead, and I'm gonna point, you're gonna say hey. Abobo Mariwo Tuya, hey. And it's sharp like that. Abobo Mariwo Tuya, hey. Okay, so you should write these down because it's a lot to remember. Eseruba, heya. Eseruba, heya. So the next one is heya. And it's like an intimidating, fearful, scary, okay? Abobo Mariwo Tuya, hey, Eseruba, heya. All right? Sound great already. Abobo Mariwo Tuya, hey, Eseruba, heya. Bing, bing, okay? Bing, bing, So that's okay, everybody? Bing, 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 Abobo Mariwo Tuya, hey, Eseruba, heya. Bing, bing, Eru, owo. Now you got a melody there. Eru, owo. Okay? Abobo Mariwo Tuya, hey, Eseruba, heya. Bing, bing, Eru, owo. Eru, owo. Let's try. Eru, owo. Eru, owo. Okay? Abobo Mariwo Tuya, hey, Eseruba, heya. Bing, bing, Eru, owo. Abobo Mariwo Tuya, hey, Eseruba, heya. Bing, bing, Eru, owo. Abobo Mariwo Tuya, hey, Eseruba, heya. Bing, bing, Eru, owo. Pekpeye, ha, ha. Another melody. Pekpeye, ha, ha. Okay? Pekpeye, ha, ha. Pekpeye, ha, ha. Abobo Mariwo Tuya, hey, Eseruba, heya. Bing, bing, Eru, owo. Pekpeye, ha, ha. Good. Pekpeye, ha, ha. Abobo Mariwo Tuya, hey, Eseruba, heya. Bing, bing, Eru, owo. Pekpeye, ha, ha. And when it comes to writing this, just write it as best as you can. Don't worry about spelling it correctly, because getting into the spelling of these things, now you're dealing with the whole language of Yoruba, which is a different study on its own. So just write it phonetically as best as you can, because it's like A before I before E, it's after G, and all those things, and it's going to be too confusing, okay? So just write it down as best as you can, and the way my teachers taught me, write it down yourself. I didn't have one teacher to say, hey, let me write everything down for you, and here you go, and open your mouth. I'm going to just spoon feed it. It doesn't work like that. Because when you get it like that, you don't keep it. But when you struggle for it, you'll be like, this mine. You know how many times I was writing ha-ha and I was spelling it incorrect? Is this a ha-ha? Is that a ha-ha? Ha-ha? How you spell ha-ha? Okay? When you go through that, you own the information. But when it's all just delivered in a nice PDF form, and you just say, here you go, none of my teachers taught me like that. And they all read it right and went to university, okay? So it's not like, oh, Africa, they don't know how to do it. You go to universities, you're going to see Africans in every university. So it's a way to learn that allows you to retain and allows you to earn it in a way that whatever the spirit even has respect for you. Because we are working with spirits. They have to accept us. There's no entitlement. It's not, if I say if Abobo Mani Otoya, you're going to be there. They could be like, and you keep trying to talk to them and they say, because something about how you got it or what you're doing with it, they're not going to show up. Okay? So it's not automatic. There's no entitlement. We're earning their respect. We're earning them to come to us. So all of the steps along the way is how you earn it. All right? Abobo Mario to ya, hey, eseruba, hey ya, bing bing, eru, owo, bekbeye, ha ha, egbe kahain, kahain, egbe kahain, kahain, egbe kahain, kahain, egbe kahain, kahain. Abobo Mario to ya, hey, eseruba, hey ya, bing bing, eru, owo. Abobo Mani Otuya, hey, eseruba, hey ya, bing bing, eru, owo, pekpeye, ha ha, ekpe kahain, kahain. Abobo Mani Otuya, hey, eseruba, hey ya, bing bing, eru, owo. All right. Give yourself a round of applause. That was good. Yeah. That's good. That's great. So hold on to that. When we go to our Egungun, a lot of what's so great about this practice is that each Orisha is so different. So it's the details, for each one. So what do you do for this that you don't do for this Orisha? When we go to honor the Egungun, it's different than Ifa and Orisha. All of the Orisha, when we go to honor them, the first thing we start with is the hail. We say, Ifa head power, we put our head down. Ode yeah, head power is how. But when we first go to the Egungun, we don't start with Abobo Mani Otuya. So that's a secret. Look, I don't know if you caught that one. Oh, write that one down. Because when people do it wrong, they be like, where they learn that? Who teach them that? But you won't, I'll give you that secret that you won't start off like that. Okay? But once they accept our offering, then we say the hey, Abobo Mani Otuya. Okay? It's very important. And we could also say it to call attention for everyone to come together. Or if we want to just big up the Egungun. Okay? So that's how we use it. Now, let's get into some songs. We sang these earlier, and there's so many songs, but let's master these first. These are some really good, easy, simple songs. Okay? So I'm singing a little bit, then we'll break it down. They're all call and response. Sekele mowa motin sawo sekele motin sawo sekele mowa motin sawo sekele motin sawo sekele mowa motin sawo sekele. Okay, so sekele mowa motin sawo sekele sekele mowa. Sekele mowa motin sawo sekele mowa motin sawo sekele mowa motin sawo sekele mowa motin sawo sekele. Now let's do the whole thing. Sekele mowa motin sawo sekele. 1, 2. 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 Sekele mowa motin sawo. Now say the lead. Motin sawo. Sekele mowa motin sawo. Yeah, motin sawo. Sekele mowa motin sawo. Sekele motin sawo. Sekele mowa motin sawo. Yeah, motin sawo. Sekele mowa motin sawo. Yeah. mo ti ń ṣàwòṣe mo wà mo ti ń ṣàwòṣe mo ye. I'm singing it a couple times. Ye tuloko le ye. Ye tuloko le ye. Ye tuloko le ye. Okay, so let's break it down. Ye tuloko le ye. Ye tuloko le.
Ye tuloko
Ye tuloko le ye. Ye tuloko le ye. Good. Ye tuloko le ye. 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 Good. The lead says tuloko le ye tuloko le ye. Tuloko le ye tuloko le. Tuloko le ye tuloko le ye. Tuloko le ye tuloko le ye. Tuloko le ye tuloko le. 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 Tuloko le tuloko le. Tuloko le
tuloko le
tuloko le ye tuloko le ye. Very good, very good. Next song. The next song says more se tu son son, more se tu son son. Son son 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 more se tu son son. Okay, let's break it down. Son son more se tu.
more se tu.
Son 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 more se tu.
More se tu.
Son son
Son
son so.
so.
Son son more se tu.
More se tu.
Son son.
So.
Good. Son son more se tu.
So more se tu.
Son son.
So.
Son son more se tu. Son son.
So more se tu. So.
Son son more se tu. Son son.
So more se tu. So.
Okay, let's keep it going. Son son more se tu. Son son. Son son more se tu. Son more se tu. Son son more se son more se tu.
So more se tu. So.
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 More Moresetu.
Sonso moresetu sonso.
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 Motinsawo sekele mowa. Motinsawo sekele. Motinsawo sekele mowa. Motinsawo sekele. Motinsawo sekele mowa. Motinsawo sekele. Tuloko le yeye. 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 Moresetu sonso. 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 Tuloko le yeye. 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 Motinsawo.
Sekele mowa motinsawo.
Yeah.
Sekele.
Yeah, motinsawo.
Sekele mowa motinsawo. Sekele.
Yeah, motinsa.
Sekele mowa motinsawo. Sekele.
Motinsawo.
Sekele mowa motinsawo. Sekele.
Motins.
Sekele mowa motinsawo. Sekele.
Motinsawo.
Sekele mowa motinsawo. Sekele.
Motinsawo.
Sekele mowa motinsawo. Sekele.
Motinsawo.
Sekele mowa motinsawo. Sekele.
Yeah, motinsawo.
Sekele mowa motinsawo. Sekele.
Yeah, motinsawo.
Sekele mowa motinsawo. Sekele.
Yeah, motinsawo.
Sekele mowa motinsawo. Sekele.
Tuloko le.
Yeye tuloko le yeye.
Tuloko le.
Yeye tuloko le yeye.
Tuloko le.
Yeye tuloko le yeye.
Moresetu.
Soso moresetu soso.
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 Tuloko le.
Yeye tuloko le yeye.
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 Motinsawo.
Sekele mowa
Yeah.
motinsawo. Sekele.
Motinsawo.
Sekele mowa 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 motinsawo. Sekele.
Tuloko le.
Yeye tuloko le yeye.
Tuloko le.
Yeye tuloko le yeye.
Tuloko le.
Yeye tuloko le yeye.
Moresetu.
Soso moresetu soso.
Moresetu.
Soso moresetu soso.
Moresetu.
Soso moresetu soso.
Moresetu.
Soso moresetu.
All right, now be ready. Motinsawo.
Sekele mowa motinsawo. Sekele.
Tuloko le.
Yeye tuloko le yeye.
Moresetu.
Soso moresetu soso.
Motinsawo. Ah.
Motinsawo. Sekele.
Motinsawo. Abobo Mario Toya,
Hey.
Eseruba,
Hey, ya.
Bing Bing, Eru, Pekpeye, Egbe Kahan. All right. You got to catch a sharp. Give yourself a round of applause. All right. Woo! All right. So now we are going to apply all that we have said today into our offerings. Okay? So part of this is learning. Second is applying so that you all can come away with this with a full experience. Okay? So we're going to skip the spiritual bath and we're going to go straight to the offerings. We're going to give offerings to your ancestors. Everyone that wants to give offering to your ancestor, which I know is everyone, we're going to put a link in the chat. Sign up if you didn't sign up already. I saw that so many of you all signed up ahead of time. And much respect to you because knowledge is power. To keep the culture alive is to engage in the legacy of our ancestors. So for everyone that signed up before today, I was seeing all these people signing up. I was like, wow, these people are really on it. So I want to take a moment to really commend you. So we're going to give offerings now. We're going to say your name and we're going to call the ancestors of your lineage. Okay, so you're going to put your name in the chat. I'm not in the chat. When you sign up, you're going to be prompted to put your name and put your mother's name. We always add the mother's name because the mother, there's two people in the world with the same name, but there's no two people in the world with the same name and the same mother's name, okay? So that's how we get the most specific GPS to your spirit, all right? So you put your mother's name, and then to get even more specific to your GPS, that's how we put that's why we ask you to put your, where you live also, okay? The spirit is gonna go find you and come right back in a second, all right? So go ahead and sign up. Like I said, each Orisa is totally different in how we honor and worship them. And when it comes to the ancestors, we stand up. So we're gonna adjust our cameras so that we're standing up. We're gonna give our offerings, okay? Everyone sign up immediately if you didn't sign up already while we are readjusting the set, all right? So if you can pull it to be as high as possible. So what? Put your foot on it and then but don't press it because it's plastic, and then pull it, and then that's how you know if you reach. I guess I'm gonna be in this position, so as best to, it's not for them to see this, but for them to see the process. So you make that determination. OB.
How do I adjust
What do you say? All right. We are going to honor the Egungun. All right, everyone. So I encourage everyone to stand up wherever you are. Stand up and say what you can say what you've learned, and let us honor our ancestors. Shield. Idise. disse, o, ilé mo pe o, ilé mo pe o, ilé mo pe o, Egungun mo pe o, Egungun mo pe o, Egungun mo pe o, Akinsale mo pe o, Akinsale mo pe o, Akinsale mo pe o, Alaseku mo pe o, Alaseku mo pe o, Alaseku mo pe o. Egungun, we come today to honor and pay homage to you, our ancestors. Our ancestors on the father's side, our ancestors on the mother's side. We honor and pay homage to you. All of our ancestors that were practicing African spirituality, that were dedicated, that were waking up early to honor the traditions that were handed down. Those that sacrificed everything so that those traditions stayed alive. Those that took their time out to teach the tradition and hand it down to the next generation. All those that invested everything they had so that the culture would continue to live. We come today to honor you, our ancestors. We honor you because we are here because you have paved the way for us to be here. So we honor you today. We bring OB and OT as an offering to you. We have so many people joining us from all over the world today. And we all come in honor of our ancestors. So we ask that you receive our offerings, that you answer our prayers, and we come with gratitude because we are here because you have chosen for us to be here. And we are not confused about that at all. This offering of OB is an offering of gratitude for always choosing us, always supporting us, always blessing us, always fortifying us, always making sure that we are the one that wins, that those that honor their ancestors never lose. And we are here as a testimony to all that our ancestors have done before us. We pay homage to you. Egungun vi adenu, egungun vi adekun. Egungun vi adekun, vi adenu gbogbo ara kan wá báyìí ṣe. Àsọ púpọ̀ ní dódó ẹyẹ àdífáfú ẹ̀gún torombo wáyé òun lé ní ìdídáfàsí ẹbọ wọn ní kó wá ṣe rúdú ẹbọ àtúrọ̀ ẹ̀rù káwọ́ àbáni ní wòwó rẹ̀ Egungun. We ask that you recognize us anywhere we are in the world. At every moment, may we be like the red flag that is undeniable, like the red rose that can be seen from anywhere in the world. We honor us. We honor you. Bless us. We honor you, bless us, recognize us, see us everywhere we go. Egungun fi adenu, egungun fi adekun, egungun fi adekun fi adenu gbogbo ara kan wá báyìí ṣe ìwúrí òye kú egun obodo na babaláwo. Babaláwo náà kò gbọdọ̀ ṣàkìjókíjó fún egun. Àdífáfù alábàáyé tí mú orí lọ́wọ́ tí ó ṣáájú egun igi ọmọ pé Egungun lámọ̀ ògùn àwọ̀ Egungun. You are Alagba, the elder of the elders, the one that sees everything at one moment, the one that can see the future and that can see the past because you've lived it and all things have come in cycles. The one that is the confidant, the one that is the leader, the one that gives the advice so that we can know which way to align with our destiny. We come with offerings to our Alagba, to our Egungun, and we ask that you receive our offerings today. All the prayers that we say, may they manifest successfully. Turu ponfun bisi adi fonfun leri bisi tin lori fi obi biku kini egun fi obi se epe ni egun fi obi se epe kini egun fi obi se oyin ni egun fi obi se. We bring this obi, Baba. We bring this obi to you, Iya. Thank you. Our fathers, our mothers that are smiling down upon us. We say thank you because we are here because you have made it to be so. And continue to provide for us. For those that honor their ancestors are the ones that's always provided for. May we continue to go forward ever and backwards never. May you honor, may you us from the other side how to align with our destiny, how to walk this path, so that we can be our greatest self. Aberuka, ayalasoka, awole awode, apetibi ayalo. Abobo mariwo toya, eseruba, bing, eru, pekpeye, egbe kahan. Share this will be with you. Alafia. So our Egungun, they receive our prayers, they receive our offerings today. They said all is going to manifest successfully. Every prayer we're saying will manifest. Otuara ni mu, irete lalera, difference. Tí mo bá ọtí ká mólówó tí àlàlà wù mú ara ní sá ló mo bá ọtí ká mólówó tí àlàlà wù. This OT, as we shower you, may you shower us with wealth, with prosperity. This OT is always experienced in environments of wealthiness, places that are prosperous. So may we experience our prosperity together. As we all sip from this cup together, may our wealth also be a communal wealth where we can rely on each other, where we can be blessed by each other's efforts, and so that we can grow and go as a community together. We pay homage to you today and every day. We bring the second OB as the second leg on the path that we're walking that manifests our destiny. This is the second OB that allows us to not call one, but to call all. All come to hear our prayers. All come to honor our prayers. All come to bless us abundantly. We give thanks to our ancestors, Egungun Ya, Egungun Baba, Alaseku. We honor you, all those that have paved the way, that have actually lived the life we're living in their way, and that are teaching us and supporting us and giving us the cheat codes in life so that we don't have to begin from no resources, but we begin with abundant resources. We honor you today. We pay homage to you today, our ancestors. We are here because you make us to be here, it is say, and we pay homage to you. Today, ati o se de papu de mewa orila beruka ayahan lasuka awole awde apeti bi aya rumila obi na ye o kifu kan ya ko si bi o ire de o ìwà ogun oko ojo ìwà kó bá jẹ́ ìwà ló fi bá. Abobo mariwo toya, eseruba, bing, eru, pekpeye, egbe kahan. Our Egungun says to not allow any negative energy to throw us off our positive path. Be good, have good manners, be good people, treat people well, and our ancestors will continue to smile upon us in all that we do. Yeah, this will be with you, Baba. Abobo mariwo toya. So we bring this OB to you. We say thank you. Thank you for all good things in life. All right. We give thanks to our ancestors. Maybe I'll come back down so you can see well. They're here. We give thanks to our ancestors for blessing us. I honor all of you for taking this moment, taking this time out. For everyone that signed up, we're going to give you offerings. And we will be sending the messages to you within 48 hours. Your ancestors are going to have a chance to speak to you directly. If all that you enjoyed today, if you want more, you can always be a part of our school community, our online community, where we do this every day. So we'll put that information in the chat. And for any people that are seeking spiritual guidance and mentorship, I'm going to put the link where you can sign up for a spiritual divination, Ifa reading, Ifa divination, and you can engage in the mentorship program also that I have available. And you can receive the guidance from Ifa to align yourselves with your destiny, because to align yourself with your destiny is how you manifest your blessings. So we gain through the knowledge and understanding of Ifa to guide us on our path. So anytime you're interested in Ifa divination, you can click the link here in our chat, which is readings256.com. Thank you for joining us. We'll be here this time next week. We will see you all next week. And may all of your ancestors continue to support everything that you do. Abobo Marigo Tuya,
Hey.
Eseruba,
Hey.
Bing Bing, Eru,
Oh.
Bekbeye, Egbe Kahan.
Kahan.
Shell. See you next week.
drink like a lot of it.